All hands to briefing. This is Admiral Y11 here, and today we are going to do the second episode of my Paint.net tutorial. In this episode, we're going to learn about transparency, what it is, how it functions, how to crop out objects in images, and how to use layering, transparency, and cropping to make more complex images. First off, we're going to learn about transparency. What is transparency? This is what transparency is. This pattern here will represent whenever an image is transparent. How does transparency function? Well, transparency allows you to see an image below it on a layer. Wherever there's this texture, you can see all the way. You can see behind it. So, right now, as you can see, I've got 4 layers. Layer 4, 3, 2, and the background. It's just this single texture. So we're going to fix that. So in layer 4, we are going to make a red square, or a red rectangle. Then behind it, we are going to make a green rectangle. As you can see in the layers box, since everything above the red rectangle is transparent, you can see what's behind it on layer 3. We're going to go down to layer 2 and make a yellow rectangle. Same concept. On layer 3 and layer 4, this area is transparent, so you can see what's on layer 2 at the top. Now in the background, we are going to make a blue rectangle. And you can see what's on the blue rectangle in the transparent space left over, which is this area. And we can go even farther. Let's put a layer behind all of these. And let's get a black square. And we're going to cover the entire layer. So as you can see, layer 5, the layer behind the background, is entirely black. But layer 4 takes up this space. Layer 3 takes up this space. Layer 2 takes up this space. And the background layer takes up this space. The only transparent space left is this rectangle in the center. It's viewable through all 5 layers. And so what's left over is this black square that you see here. Black rectangle, excuse me. That's how transparency works. It's a very basic concept. Now, we're going to use these 2 images here as examples for cropping. So we are going to crop out this derpy looking heavy. So, the first step that you want to do is you want to select your magic wand tool. And you're going to want to click on the background. Now, the reason you're doing this is to see whether or not you can crop out the background without cropping out Heavy's face. You can easily just select the background using the lasso tool, or just erasing it by hand using the eraser tool. However, this I found is an easier way to do it. But as you can see, sometimes it'll mess up. It's selecting some of Heavy's collar right here, some of his arm, a little bit of his ear. We can fix that. Now at the top bar, you'll see this little slider here, called Tolerance. Now with the Magic Wand tool, if you click, hold, and drag, you can see that it's selecting certain parts. With a little bit of sliding, you can adjust it so that it only crops out the background. Boom. We'll do the same thing for the other side. There we go. However, you might notice something. Right here. The eraser, or the magic wand tool, didn't get everything. You can see it's leaving these little jagged edges all along the side. That's alright, we can fix that. Now, the way you can fix this is mainly using the eraser tool. You want to make it a bit bigger. And you do want to be zoomed in like this so that you have more control over it. Now there's two methods of getting rid of these jagged edge. The first method is you can just click, hold, and drag. This is the simplest and most basic method of doing this. However, in doing this, if you make a mistake, like say I didn't want to erase too much of Heavy's head, all that progress is lost. You can also do this, which is you move and you click. You do little clicks to erase the jagged edges. The eraser has this, the hardness. That will adjust how much is erased, if that makes sense. Basically, you can use the eraser to soften jagged edges, like we're doing right now. I'll come back after I've finished. Alright, so the outlines are all smoothed. Now we're going to move the Heavy onto our main image. So we are going to do the keyboard command Control A. We are going to hold Control and then hit A. As you can see, the entire workspace has been selected. This is important when copying and pasting objects. So now that we have the Heavy selected, we are going to do the keyboard command Control C. We can also copy by hitting the copy button up here on the top bar, but I think it's easier to use keyboard commands. Now, before you paste anything into your image, make sure that you're on the right layer, because if you're not on the right layer, you could end up pasting the object over another layer's objects, which will screw everything up. So right now, we are on the correct layer, layer 2. Hold on, let me rename these. There we are. We are going to paste the Heavy onto layer 2. So to do this, we will do the keyboard command Control V. You can also press the paste button on the top bar, but once again, I think keyboard commands are easier. Control V. You'll get this window if the image you have is larger than the canvas. As you can see, it says here. You have two options. You could either expand the canvas to the object size, or you could keep the canvas size and adjust the object to fit accordingly. We are going to expand the canvas. So as you can see, it moved out a bit to the right so that the Heavy could fit. But you can also see there's this area down here. We don't need that. So what we're going to do is we are going to hit the crop to selection button, which will crop the selected area. And the selected area in this case is the Heavy. Boom. Done. That area is gone, and all that's left is the Heavy. So now, we've gotten that done. We've cropped out the Heavy. We've adjusted everything properly. So now we're actually going to start making the image. I'm going to make another layer here. Quickly rename these layers. So, on layer 1, we are going to paste this image. So we're going to do Control A, Control C. We are going to go back, make sure we're on the correct layer, layer 1, and hit Control V. Now, as you can see, it doesn't fit the entire screen, but that's alright, because we are going to resize the medic so that he fits in. There he is. Because on layer 3, the area around the heavy is transparent, you can see what's on layer 1. Now on layer 2, we're going to grab the heavy again, and we're going to paste him in this area here. So we're going to resize him, and we're going to see if we can fit him in there. There we go. We've managed to get him to fit. So let me just show you what it actually would look like if heavy were there. As you can see, it would just be that. If they were both on the same layer, this would overlap heavy. But because they're not on the same layer, he's behind. So there you go. We've got this image all set and ready for editing anything, but first we're going to save it. So first off, whenever you save something in Paint.net and it has layering, it will by default save as a Paint.net file or a .pdn. That's the project file. You always want to save a project file in case you need to go back and edit more things. So we are going to save. But the problem with the Paint.net file, the .pdn, is that it's only usable in Paint.net, much like every project file for most image editing programs. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to File, Save As. We're going to go to Save As Type. Go into the drop-down menu and select either a JPEG or a PNG. I'm going to use a PNG. Whenever you save a PNG or a JPEG, this will come up. You don't have to worry about it, just click OK. This is what you do have to worry about. So, whenever you have a layered image, when you save it, it will give this pop-up to you, asking whether or not you want to flatten it. Now, what flattening means is all these layers will be compressed onto one layer. Now, you can do this manually, but this causes some problems for other aspects of editing, which we'll go over in a later episode. For now, we're just going to hit flatten since we don't have any actual properties on the layers and such, which would be affected by flattening them manually. Boom. The image is now flattened, and it's set. So this has been the second episode of my Paint.net tutorial. Next time we're going to go over the gradient tool, image adjustments, and layer properties. Thanks for watching. If this helped you, leave a like. If it didn't help you, hit the dislike button. It's right next door to the like button. If you want to leave a comment asking for more help with Paint.net, or help with anything, for that matter, leave a comment in the comment section below. If you want to share this with your friends because it helped you out just so much, hit the share button and share on any social media. And if you want more content like this, or any of the content I make, hit subscribe. I'm Admiral Y11, signing off.